guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we're going to talk about why we're still believing the numbers. They're all a lie, absolute lies. And so we'll get into that in a second. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and just go give it one more shout out to the Warclim plaque that was made for me and sent in by JS Genesis Designs. They saw the video that I did on the Michigan Department of Agriculture coming down on those farmers and that co-op who was selling those Warclim products and, basically shut them down, made them throw it all away. And so I made the point that I can't say those words on YouTube because they'll censor me and throw me in YouTube prison. We're all rot for an eternity. So I have to use other words, and I came up with Warclim because it's that word, those two words spelled backwards. Warclim. Anyway, all that to say, they made the plaque, sent it in. I really appreciate that. I'm going to find a special home for that. But I also wanted to give a shout out to that company. They had a few of you who went into them and said, hey, could you make me one of those? And so they did. They actually have it on the website now, jsgenesisdesigns.com, jsgenesisdesigns.com. They make all kinds of other wood products as well. So check them out and see if you can support them and tell them thank you by, if you see something you like there, go ahead and get it. Okay, all that to say, let me go ahead and just also start off. I will be at the OZARK Homesteading Expo in Marshfield, Missouri coming up very soon, less than a month, less than a couple weeks, early September 6th and 7th. I will be speaking there on the 6th, Friday morning, starting off the day, 8:30 in Tent 1. Tent 1. I'll be talking about preparedness, homesteading, off-grid, and what you can do to succeed in your off-grid or homesteading endeavors. Come see me. I really appreciate that. And say hello. I'll have a booth there. So I'll be there all day on Friday. So it came out that there was enough revisions over the last years to the jobs report. 800,000. They were wrong. They were off. They were, slightly skewed by 800,000 jobs. Just a drop in the bucket. That's a small number. I've had people argue with me on my channel recently. Zach, the dollar's not dying. The dollar will always be here. History says otherwise. History says otherwise. There's been plenty, just plenty, astronomical numbers of fiat currencies put forth by governments throughout human history that have all failed. Every single last one of them. Fiat currencies always fail. And when you get to a point where you're basically inflating your currency and you can't control your debt anymore, it's only a matter of time. The average life expectancy for a fiat currency is only about 60 years. And when you took us off the gold standard in 1971, Richard Nixon, we are just about on time for the average lifespan of a fiat currency. We're witnessing it collapse. So these people out there in my comments section who say, Zach, the dollar will always be here. The dollar's not going anywhere. Belgium is now dumping U.S. treasuries. It was Japan. It was China. It's other, some of these Eastern, or the former Soviet, No. Belgium now. Belgium is now dumping U.S. treasuries. Because it's over. The fat lady is singing at the DNC.
If you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
Okay, here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. We had the job revision numbers. Let me go ahead and just read this article by Zero Hedge. Wall Street outraged over latest epic F-up by Biden's Labor Department. Oh, yes. It's delightfully fitting that on the day the entire financial world was holding its breath for Biden's highly politicized and grossly incompetent Bureau of Labor Statistics to admit that it had massively effed up the jobs data over the past year, that Biden's highly politicized and grossly incompetent Bureau of Labor Statistics screwed it up even more. At exactly 10 a.m. Eastern this morning, this was the other day, August 22nd. So yesterday. I think it was yesterday. The BLS was supposed to publish its annual CES preliminary benchmark announcement, revision, and update on how many jobs in the past year were, for lack of a better word, made up. As we reported earlier, it just so happened that the number was 818,000, which was the second biggest annual overestimation of job creation in U.S. history. That means the second biggest lie ever told about job creation in U.S. history. The second biggest. 2008, basically 2009 was the biggest. Something that surely was pure coincidence in an election year. However, at 10:01 a.m., as it hit, nothing happened. Millions of traders, thousands of economists, and countless macro tourists were furiously slamming the F5 key, refreshing the revisions page to see nothing change. This went on and on and on, and even though the market actually reacted as if the data had been published because it's all fake, it turned out that the algorithms were merely responding to phantom triggers in hopes of triggering momentum ignition up or down. No actual data was reported. Scrolling down, when the data was finally released shortly after 10:30 a.m., it showed that payrolls will likely be revised down by 818,000 jobs for the 12 months through March, the biggest downward revision to the job number since 2009. Again, what happened in 2008, 2009? Now, this is my favorite part of the entire article, and this is the last part I need to read because this is absolutely amazing, hilarious. Stocks initially jumped and bonds gained because the report lent support to the speculation that the Fed will start cutting interest rates next month, then quickly reversed as panic seemed to sweep over Wall Street at the thought that the Biden administration had been actively covering up a labor market recession. In the end, however, this is it. In the end, hopium won out and stocks closed near the highs of the day because, well, Powell will always make sure stocks keep rising. Hopium won out. No. Hopium didn't win out. The circuit breakers won out. The plunge protection team won out. These are things that keep the market always up. They're fake. They're all fake. There's a reason why the Federal Reserve has a trading desk at the New York Stock Exchange, because if stocks go down too far, we can inject hopium, meaning U.S. tax dollars, U.S. treasuries, into the market in order to make sure the stocks never go down. It's all fake. The whole thing is fake. The entire stock market is completely rigged. They are lying about the numbers. They're lying about the jobs reports. Okay, we are in a recession. We have been in a recession. They are lying about the inflation. You know they're lying about the inflation. You can go back through your history in your Walmart apps and see what you were paying in groceries 4 years ago. It's up over 100% in inflation. We are absolutely still in high inflation, heading towards hyperinflation. We know they're lying about it. All the numbers are fake. The crime statistics are fake. You know how you get crime statistics to go down? You just stop counting the crimes. And look, lo and behold, the numbers are down. We're living in a perfect society. Illegal immigration's down. You know why illegal immigration's down? It's because we just stopped counting all the people coming to our border, through our border. Oh, well, that's it's amazing. It's miraculous. Well, immigration's under control. Good for Kamala. Or Mamala. Oh, Mamala. I mean, seriously, it's all a lie. What can you trust? Nothing. Nothing. You can't trust anything. So yesterday, I put up a video. It was a short on my channel talking about how, my oldest son has been melting down copper bars. We're going to take these over to the OZARK Homesteading Expo. He's going to sell them for cash only. And these are just copper bars, 3 pounds each. I think it's got a couple 2-pounders too. And we wrap them up so, it keeps their nice shininess. Because if you leave them out in the open, they lose their shininess pretty quickly within a few days. Because it's pure copper. It's pure #1 copper. And people left comments on my short saying, Zach, that's only worth a couple dollars. It's only worth if you add them up, 3 pounds, $8, a little less than $8. Well, yeah, it's worth only about $8 if you consider what they're paying at the scrapyard. But if you take copper to the scrapyard, you're a fool. You're just flushing money down the toilet. They're giving you below spot price of what the market is. And I wonder who sets the spot price for copper? Who sets the market value for copper? The Commodities Exchange does. Who runs the Commodities Exchange? the federal government, the Federal Reserve, JP Morgan, all of those banksters out there who are setting the numbers. Now, you go and do a quick Google search and see how much they're selling copper bars online at places like eBay and Etsy and AppMex. Go look at appmex.com, APMEX, and see how much they're selling copper bars. And you work it out to the troy ounce of what it's probably going around $25 per pound. $25 per pound is what they're selling copper bars for online right now. And if you go to Home Depot and you buy, a pound worth of copper wire or a pound's worth of copper fittings, pure copper fittings, how much are you going to pay for those 1 pound of pure copper fittings? It's even higher than $25 a pound. Guys, what's the market? You can always see where the lies are by going to what the market value is. There's no way. It's all a lie. Absolutely a lie. They're lying to you about these are all manipulated downwards because it's a monetary metal. It's a direct competitor to US fiat. Again, something that only has historically a lifespan of 60 years. And we're right on schedule. So we're witnessing, okay, what does the market say it's worth? The federal government with its plunge protection team and its circuit breakers and all those other things that keep the market from. What are they saying it's worth? And then what is the market, the open market, say it's worth? Do you see the difference? $25 a pound. Scrapyard, maybe $3 a pound. Home Depot, like $50 a pound. Because, there's labor in making all those things that they punch out by the billions, at the factories. So, yeah, I get that. There's a little bit of labor involved in making all those copper fittings. But copper stuff at Home Depot is off the charts expensive. And that's even if you get real copper these days. A lot of times it's aluminum with a copper plating. Because they don't want to even give you real copper anymore. It's too expensive. There's a market value, a free market value, and then there's a government value. Don't be lied to. All the numbers that they're giving to you these days are absolutely fake. Which brings me to my next and last point. The point I want to make today. You saw the other day that Russia is now opening its doors to foreigners. They're saying, hey, anybody out there want to come in? If you feel like your government's out of control, if you feel like you're being misrepresented, come into our government. Come into our country. Our doors are open for you. If you're a productive person, if you have if you have something to offer our communities, we want you. Why are they doing that? They're completely unplugging from the system. And the rest of these countries, the BRICS, if you notice, the BRICS came out the other day and says, we're not accepting any more members for a while. They're good on that right now. They're going to settle some things because they're getting ready to completely unplug from the system and start their own system. And it's going to be based on something real and physical. A monetary metal that we all know. That's real and physical. Not that just a few months ago, there was something tremendous that happened. This is the last point I want to make. Basically, our government held off anyone who holds U.S. treasuries from getting their interest payments. So when you buy, let's just say you put money back in the day when banks used to pay interest. You would take money, put it in a savings account, and the bank would pay you interest. But what if that bank came to you and says, you know what? We're not really liking how you're posting on social media. We're not going to pay you interest anymore. Well, then if you're not going to pay me interest, I'm taking my money out of the bank. Well, you can't do that. Or we prefer you don't do it. We want you to keep the money in the bank, but we're not going to pay you interest because we don't like some of the things that you're saying. You're going to pull your money out if you're allowed to. Well, U.S. Treasuries, you are allowed to sell U.S. Treasuries on the open market. And that's what happened. The government says, well, we know all these countries are holding U.S. Treasuries, but because some of them are saying things we don't like, we're not going to pay them, especially Russia. We're not going to pay them interest on the debt they hold. They bought U.S. Treasuries, which is buying debt, buying dollars, and you pay interest to them for those treasuries based on 5-year, 10-year, 30-year, whatever treasuries they are. You pay them an interest. We're not going to pay them an interest anymore because we don't like what they're saying. And the rest of the world went, what? You mean I'm holding your debt And you're not, if I say something you don't like, you're not going to pay me anymore for holding your debt? Well, I'm not going to hold your debt anymore. And Japan is dumping. Belgium is now dumping. Other countries are dumping. They're dumping U.S. debt because they don't like the numbers. Everything is fake. They're trying to bully these people into submission. And we're not, they're like, I'm unplugging. I'm unplugging from your system because it's corrupt. It's not a fair playing field. We want an open and free market, and we'll go play in that sandbox, or we'll make our own sandbox. That's what's happening. So, again, the point of the video, again, bringing it back to homesteading, is homesteaders need to prepare for being able to operate and locating black markets. Because when this thing falls, when this collapses, there's going to be a black market. And you want to be able to participate in that, which means you want to be able to produce things to participate in that. Become a producer. Think along those lines. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want to be able to produce. I want to be able to participate. And the only way I can do that is to do things on my own. I can't rely on the system anymore. It's corrupt. It's going to fail. The numbers are skewed. They're lying to you about everything these days. Everything is a lie. Do not believe it. Do not participate, and prepare to participate in black market systems that will absolutely rise. History tells us this is the truth. This is what happens. So take note. What do you think? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, be sure to check me out, OZARK's Homesteading Expo, September 6th. I will be there Friday morning, tent number 1, 8:30. I'll be kicking off the day. I hope you'll come see me at my booth and introduce yourself, and we'll have a great time. It's going to be a lot of great people out there. All right, guys. See you next time at the Homestead. Bye. In the spring of 2024, Saudi Arabia ended the long-held practice of requiring its oil to be sold in U.S. currency. And recently, governments around the world have been repatriating their physical gold from Western banks, opting instead to hold that gold within their own borders. China, meanwhile, continues to set records in terms of stockpiling its physical gold reserves, while at the same time dumping billions in U.S. treasuries. All these instances can otherwise be called indicators. Indications that the world is readying itself to participate in trade that does not involve the United States or the dollar. And at home, our banks are showing signs of a deflationary collapse, in which case the FDIC does not have a fraction of the funds on hand to ensure you can get your money should your bank fail. On the other hand, they keep telling us inflation is getting under control, but for some reason, the prices we pay day to day keep going up and products we pay for keep getting smaller. I've put a link in the description below this video that will allow you to start the process to convert money you may have already saved into precious metals that you yourself can hold. You hold it, you own it. Throughout history, precious metals have always been accepted for goods and services, even in the most chaotic of economies and war-torn countries, dating all the way back to when Alexander the Great ruled the known world. Guys, we're over $35 trillion in debt. If you're concerned, I don't blame you. ITM Trading has a well-documented history of helping people put their money into physical metals that you hold. Again, if you hold it, you own it. Hit that link below and see how ITM Trading can help you get the ball rolling towards financial sustainability. The consultation is free and there's no pressure. They will show you your options based on your concerns and goals you have for the future. By doing this, you're safeguarding wealth just like people have done successfully for literally thousands of years. You are now part of that history. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.